Hello, this is Sun Tzu. I know that I've been MIA for a little bit. I've been working on my computer, had some rained out matches, but I think we're back in action at this point. Pretty excited with this match. I managed to slay a dragon. This guy's probably beaten me 3 or 4 times in previous seasons, and today I managed to win one from him. So let's go over this and see if we can find some things that I need to work on, and at the same time talk about some things that went wrong. So if you've been watching some of my videos, you may recognize this particular individual. He's what you might call a junk baller. He's the 3-0 player's nightmare, basically. Hits a lot of slice, has a really heavy spin serve, it doesn't have a lot of pace, and he has no second serve. So, given that he really likes to hit a slice and he doesn't really have a slice forehand, uh, the general idea that I had going into this was to try and keep it deep and primarily to his forehand. I don't know if I managed to primarily keep it to his forehand, but a lot of the points that I ended up winning were at least deep. Also, he has a very strong tell whenever he's going to hit one of his slice drop shots. He raises his racket quite high, right there, and I should be closing to the net whenever he does that. My serve was slow to get going, so I dropped the first game. And other than that, my serve was pretty consistent all night. I have 1 point in the second, or 1 game in the second set where it kind of falls apart on me and I lose a game due to the serve just disappearing for a little bit. I managed to get back to it though. So, since he hits this wonky serve, it's not very consistent. And his second serve is very weak, so I should be coming in pretty aggressively against his second serve to try and punish him. You notice that whenever I come up, oftentimes I don't do a lot with it. As in, I'm not like pushing towards a corner or hitting it especially deep. That's kind of intentional. I mostly want to get out of the front net play. It's not the most consistent thing for me, so for the most part, I'm just trying to hit something safe that I can extricate myself from it. This was just kind of a statement type thing, like don't hit this trash at me, please. I don't want to do this. Let's not do this. I don't know if that really works, but sometimes you just gotta send a message. So I managed to hit a junk shot there, but he manages to get it. Whatever, fine. Don't need to win them all. I felt like my returns were pretty good. Sometimes I went for a little bit too much, went to the corners a little bit too aggressively when really I just needed to get into this type of rally, which means returning to the middle of the court with some amount of spin. It doesn't even really matter what type of spin. Like, that was a perfect return for this game. Just top spin deep into the middle of the court. Not looking to win on the return, just trying to get into a standard rally because my standard strokes are better if I can get a real rally going. So this is a pretty good start to a rally, and like there he hit a weak shot and I should have been able to close and kill it, but those were a couple of really well placed ground strokes that set up a weak shot. It's been a while since I tried to send another statement there but missed, so statement lost. He now knows it's a 50-50 if he brings me up to the net. It's been a while since we recorded, and I've really worked on stabilizing my backhand. I think my backhand's a more consistent shot at this point. I don't know if it's super aggressive or anything like that, but it's I think it's pretty consistent, and I can generate a fair amount of depth on it really well, or really consistently. It doesn't always have the best pace on it, but I can place it, I can generate depth on it, and it has a lot of spin, so it feels really safe to me to hit a backhand, topspin backhand. Slice backhand is still not the best. So there's a lot of times where I'll have the opportunity to run around and take a forehand, but I'll go ahead and take the backhand just because I know that I can't win it off the forehand, and the backhand's a safe thing to do to get me to the next shot, where maybe it's easier to close out the point. So that's an example of a really weak second serve that lets me come up. I probably should have kept the ball in front of me considering how close I was to the net, but kind of a framed running forehand managed to save the day. Let's see, so he's drawing me up to the net. That was just a weird shot. It was like a slicing drive. He just pushed the ball on the backhand, and it was surprisingly fast. I didn't know what to do with it. So my serve has been kind of off and on. I think it's increased in power quite a bit, but it's at the same time become more sensitive to my toss, and my toss was wandering a little bit the last couple weeks. So I think I've identified the issue there, and so now I can work around it. But for a while, I was having just major issues with my serve and keeping my serve in. But now I think that it's kind of settled down into a point where I'm getting enough of them in, and I'm generating a bit more power than I was before. I don't know if it's translating into pace, but there's more of some combination of spin and power. So you see here, he's kind of trying to test my backhand and not really getting anywhere. And then he goes to my forehand, and he gets something out of it. I don't know if he kind of realizes that or whatever. It's kind of strange at this level for someone's backhand to be as much better as mine is than my forehand. So people bias towards going to my backhand still and don't adjust and just play against my forehand. My forehand's still pretty lofty. I'm getting better about driving it, but I loft the ball quite a bit, which isn't the best for actually winning points. And whenever I try and generate additional pace, it can become difficult to keep it in the court. So since I'm hitting up on the ball, even though I'm generating a fair amount of spin on it, it's hard to overcome hitting the ball, up at a 60, 70 degree angle. Need to roll the racket over in my hand more so that even though I'm swinging up, I'm still hitting the ball flatter. That's a technical thing and kind of a tuning. Need to get out there with a ball machine and just drill it, figure out exactly where that is. That's a known issue, I guess. So that I'm not happy with that return. A lot of times, since I kind of have the feeling that his serve is so weak, I'll swing more than I really need to. Even if he does have a weak serve, as I said, I don't need to win on the return. I just need to block it back, get it back to the middle of the court, get into his standard rally. And then I should be at an advantage. So this is nice. I get a backhand into another backhand, generate some good depth, and the spin is too much for him to handle, along with the depth. So one thing that he does, and I guess a lot of other people do, is that he steps in on my second serve. And I don't actually do anything different first to second serve. So it would be interesting to kind of chart it and see if when he's stepping in against my second serve, if that's actually advantageous, because I'm at least not intending to hit the second serve any differently. I may end up swinging a little bit harder just because I'm trying to punish him for being in so close. And so maybe that's influencing my second serve percentages, but I'm pretty sure it's wrong for him to be standing as close as he is. So that's kind of, that last point there kind of illustrated an issue that I'm still having, is that if I get one of those sitter balls really short, I don't think it matters top spin or backspin, but just standing like inside or on the baseline, kind of in that no man's land approach shot, but it's not really an approach shot because it's too slow. Controlling the depth on those balls is very challenging, at least for me. Kind of you get used to the standing behind the baseline, how fast you need to hit that ball, and then it gets closed down on you. So that was kind of a cheeky, just you hit a bad shot and I managed to catch you on it, so I was at the net and just chop it down. I followed up by double faulting and giving a point back, but whatever. Good placement on my backhand. So see, here he's standing in super close, and then he just gets a body shot that kicks up above the shoulder, and it's like, what are you getting by standing that close, right? So there's a slice that he manages to get deep. I send it to his forehand, and then he doesn't have a very good forehand. So there I went for more than I needed to, and didn't get it. So this I was surprised, and I kind of realized that he felt like he was about to lose or whatever, because he generally doesn't serve and volley. And then whenever he served and volleyed like that, and I just shut it down casually, I realized that he was starting to run out of ideas. And I think that there's one game that I lose here just because my serve falls apart, but after that I pretty much just cruise to it. So yeah, this is the game where my serve just disappears on me. I think partially it probably had to do with me having the mental realization that he was about done, and so my brain kind of went into well, I guess I'm done too. That's a unfortunate mental tick that I have, but I guess I can drop a game just for being a crappy mental athlete. I do manage to recover relatively quickly. I kind of, on the changeover, took 5-10 seconds of standing back in the back of the court and just collected myself, and then managed to play pretty consistently. We get into this long exchange, and I'm just kind of playing safe at this point because I've told myself that he's the one that needs to do something different. He's the one down a set. He's the one down a break. Just stay clean. And for the most part, I rein it in. Like you'll start to see me hitting short of the service line, even just trying to give him the opportunity to make more mistakes. So there he sliced, and I kind of just watched my last shot because I thought it was deep enough that he wouldn't be able to slice, and so I didn't close it out the way that I should have. This is the nail in the coffin. Whenever I get this, just him hitting his junk serve, me getting it, him hitting the correct response, getting it again, and then finishing the point off. I think that was the point where he decided he was done. So I win the match 6-4, 6-3. This last game goes pretty quick. I think I lose 1 point or one point in here to a double vault or something like that. But thanks for watching. Dragon slain.